Okay, well, here we go, everyone, and happy Monday to you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I hope that your work week is starting off excellently. I'm glad that you've decided to check us out, watch this video, and find out what we've got going on workerscompensation.com. So, just real quick today, give you a quick update on what's new and what we have to share with you, and I'll give you a little bit of what's going on with us. So, let's just take a look here, get this fired up. And I think we're ready to go. All right. So first of all, as always, we want to start with our um, news, what's going on in the news, and give you a little bit of a sneak peek. If you follow us on social media, you got a little bit of a sneak peek of what's coming tomorrow. Thanks to the wonderful, insightful, analytical Natalie Torres, we have yet another great expert analysis column. This one's on return to work programs. And this is great. Best practices, tips that you can use in your workplace or in your processes for getting workers back to work. So she boils it down by topic here, explains what the sort of why behind these ideas are and sort of how to put them in place. So it's a wonderful tool here, some useful tips, things that are readily usable right away. So we appreciate Natalie stepping up like that. One of our great contributors, adds quite a bit to our site, and we appreciate her work. So also tomorrow, you'll see that we'll have a piece from, this is also very helpful, as it usually is. I'm not surprised by that, by Dr. Claire Musselman. When she writes for us, it's something that you can use not just in workers' comp, but it tends to be not just in the workplace either, but in all of life. And what she talks about here, what she writes about here is thinking traps. And for those of you who are in the psychology space or the psychiatry space or have studied a little bit of that, this is kind of a variation of what's also frequently referred to as cognitive distortions. Your mind goes a certain place that might not really be in line with reality. And she explains how this affects workers' compensation and how, the impact that it has on just what we were talking about with Natalie's column, return to work, and also just having an effective process. And so the angle that she approaches this from is an adjuster's point of view, or how it might affect the adjuster and his or her work. Very interesting stuff. But like I said, if you just kind of step back a little bit from it, what she presents here can easily apply to other areas in life where your thinking, like I said, might not be lined up with reality, and it might be time to do a little bit of reframing work. So very interesting piece here from Dr. Musselman, and I hope that everyone will take the time it takes to read. It's not a super long one, and it's rich in information, just like the expert analysis from Natalie. I've been on a little bit of a tear myself with Iowa, just because there was some information that showed up on Simply Research, and we'll talk about Simply Research in just a second. Out of the great state of Iowa, some good compliance information, some good sort of fundamental definitions so that you can increase your vocabulary on workers' compensation compliance in the state of Iowa. And what a great state. So you just give a little sneak peek here of what those stories look like. This is the one that is in the hopper for tomorrow. This will go around in our LinkedIn newsletter, a little bit on some of the timelines associated with what happens when there's a claim, and some case examples that sort of flush out the idea, or does it flesh out the idea? Either way, make the idea a little bit fuller. So I guess that's flesh out. And this is a glossary check that we put together about benefits. You can see what we talk about, and it's fundamental. This might be something that you say, well, that's way too easy for me. But if you're new to workers' comp, or you're in space that isn't directly in workers' comp, this might be interesting to you. So what is TDD or TPD? What's the healing period? PPD? All this stuff here. What's schedule member? What's body as a whole? We break that down, and we owe that to information that we were able to obtain on Simply Research. Don't forget also that we have a LinkedIn page. We hope that you'll follow us on LinkedIn. And then while you're there, we hope that you subscribe to our News You Need newsletter. You can do both right there from your LinkedIn account or workerscompensation.com. Look us up, see what you think. We really try to bring information to you as best we can and really let you know what's going on our site, and by extension, what's going on in the industry in terms of thought leadership, in terms of cases, in terms of all that good stuff there. So hopefully you'll sign up and follow us on LinkedIn and sign up for our newsletter. And like we've showed you before, but just in case you haven't caught it, the News You Need is just a rehashing, basically. I mean, literally a copy and paste of what's on the news site. But this way you don't have to remember, oh, I have to bookmark it or head to workerscompensation.com. This comes straight to your LinkedIn. And if you have it set up, it'll come into your inbox if you have it set up that way. So hopefully we can connect on LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you. We would love to receive some comments. Every now and then we get some good comments. Donna Check has provided some excellent comments lately, and there's a few others out there that read it and pose thoughtful questions and ideas in response. And we encourage everyone to do that. Get the discussion going. Talk amongst yourselves. You guys are such an intelligent, engaged audience that this is really a tool that we hope that you can use for you, honestly. And so there it is. And before we bid you farewell, I want to remind you that the News You Need is always sponsored by our Simply Research product. It's a research database, but we have so much more on there as well. You can go through everything that you see here on the toolbar and figure out where you can find compliance information from your state or by topic or whatever it is that you're looking for. But we also want to remind you that we have an event calendar. And if you have events that you would like to add to our event calendar, this is something that we repeat on our regular website also. So send in your events. One that we have coming up is the Kindness in Motion 5K Walk and Run. That's the Kind Souls Foundation is putting that on. I'm looking forward to participating in that on Saturday. I'm going to get up bright and early to do that. There's a few in-person locations. I wish I could get to one of those. Tampa and Jacksonville are just a little too far away from where I am in Florida, but I would love to get to either of those. But if you're in one of those spots, get there, lace up your kind souls, and do good for a great organization that exists to help people who are affected by workers' compensation. And then coming up, one that I just signed up for in August here. There we go. August 7th. I'm looking forward to this. There's a MedCall webinar that features our very own Dr. Clara Musselman along with MedCall's Ian Colton. And it's going to be a great topic. It's going to be about building a resilient workforce. So even if you're not in the workers' compensation space, this is something that can apply to various employment settings, people who are in supervisory capacities and people who are in HR will gain something from this. And then just in general, if you just want to learn, Dr. Musselman is, as I keep saying, but I can't say it enough, is an excellent source of knowledge and information, and you will learn something from her. Just like every time you read one of her articles, you read something, learn something from her. In a webinar like this, she will present her knowledge and her how-to understanding of what it takes to build a resilient workforce. So that's coming up on August 7th. You can get there from our website. You can click here. If you're on Simply Research, if you're a subscriber, you can get there. And then I'll also show you where we have it on our page here. We have the event calendar. Just go to that top toolbar, event calendar. That's not going to be in July. It's actually going to be in August. So we'll skip over there. There it is on the 7th. A few other events there. Kind Souls, another Kind Souls event. If you're going to WCI, that's an excellent one that you might want to check out. But just to make sure that we know what's going on here, MedCall, building a resilient workforce, strategies for workers' comp and employee well-being. So click there, information, and here's the registration, and boom, there you go. I've already signed up and I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to seeing you here again very soon. I appreciate you watching this. I appreciate you taking the time to read the content that we produce on our site, workerscompensation.com, and I encourage you to get in touch. We want to hear from you. Thanks so much and have a lovely evening, everyone.